is there a fee if they put their boat in and don't park?
We'd enacted, several years ago, an ordinance that allowed them to purchase a yearly tag, permit, and so that's still in effect.
Okay.
So they can do that now. I think we had a few people purchase that first year, and then nobody's ever purchased one after that, but that procedure's still in effect.
Okay, so if they don't have the tag, then they will still pay the fee.
Right, if they show up with nothing but just, I live on the lake, they have to abide by everything else.
Right.
The ordinance is set up, if they have that permit.
Okay.
But just to be clear, they can launch if they take their boat trailer back to their property or whatever.
No, sir, they have to get a permit, a yearly
Yeah.
permit,
Okay.
and there's a procedure to do that.
Okay, just so we're clear. That, good enough, Ms. Arnold?
Thank you.
Okay, any other comments? All right, we have a motion, second, do we go?
Motion to approve the resolution 2019-0508.
And I second.
Okay, I have a motion, second now to approve the resolution. All those in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. All right, motion passed 5-0. All right, we'll move down to number 2 for the resolution of the Peace Officer Memorial. I ask the clerk to read the proclamation.
This is a proclamation for Peace Officers Memorial Day, May 15th, 2019. Whereas Peace Officers Memorial Day was signed into law in 1962 by President John F. Kennedy, along with a joint resolution of Congress to pay special tribute to those law enforcement officers who have lost their lives in the line of duty for the safety and protection of others. And whereas there are approximately 900,000 law enforcement officers serving in communities across the United States, including those sworn members of the City of Madison Police Department and the Madison County Sheriff's Office, who work devotedly and selflessly on behalf of the citizens of Madison County, regardless of the peril or hazard to themselves. And whereas some 106 law enforcement officers were killed in the line of duty in 2018, with 11 of those serving in the state of Florida. And whereas since the first recorded death in 1791, more than 20,000 law enforcement officers in the United States have made the ultimate sacrifice and been killed in the line of duty, including Deputy Stephen Michael Agner on July 26, 1999 at the Madison County Sheriff's Office, and Trooper James H. Jimmy Fulford, February 1st, 1992 of the Florida Highway Patrol. And whereas the names of over 21,000 of those dedicated public servants, including those of Deputy Agner and Trooper Fulford, are engraved on the walls of the National Law Enforcement Officers Memorial, which was dedicated in 1991 in Washington, D.C. And whereas May 15, 2019 is designated as Peace Officers Memorial Day to honor the service and sacrifice of all officers killed in the line of duty and their families. Therefore, be it resolved that the Madison County Board of County Commissioners declares May 15, 2019 to be Peace Officers Memorial Day in Madison County in honor of the men and women who have made the ultimate sacrifice in the service of their communities. Signed this regular session, this 8th day of May, 2019.
Motion to approve proclamations, Chairman.
All right, I have a motion and a second to approve this proclamation. All those in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. 5 votes. Yeah. But you want to do several pictures or? Okay.
And if, while we're doing this, I might add that, I asked that to put on the agenda to recognize that, and I appreciate everything that our law enforcement does to serve our community today, Sheriff specifically, and I know captains here with the police department, and, appreciate everything y'all do for our county every day. I knew Jimmy personally and knew Steve personally,
Yes.
and, just, we give tribute to them each day.
I would like to echo that same sentiment. I knew Jimmy. I was present shortly after that incident happened, and I worked with Steve quite frequently at the time I was a juvenile probation officer. And I had a personal friend, my best friend in college was killed 1 year after I moved to Madison down in Riviera Beach when he was shot and killed in a domestic disturbance. Mayor Skip Ronk, who I pay tribute to every day. And, with that, do you want to read the second proclamation?
It's the same.
They're the same, okay. If we could get a picture with our law enforcement officers and, Uncle Arthur comes to see me regularly. Uncle Arthur comes to see me regularly.
Probably make 2 rows.
Let's get law enforcement officers up here and get behind.
Yeah, come on.
They're the guys that came here. Good, one moment.
Three. 1, 2, 3. And a couple more. 1, 2, 3. One more. 1, 2, 3. All right. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, we will move to number 4, the announcement of the public workshop to discuss proposed, exterior electrical transmission line scheduled for Tuesday, May 14th. We've got a meeting this coming, the next Tuesday, is that right, Mr. Chairman, Mr. Commissioner?
Yes, sir.
What's your name?
I got a raise there.
No, you took a pay cut. You took a big pay cut.
You got a lot of headaches.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman, we have been asked, the public has been asking about the transmission line, and I know we talked a little bit about it here at the commission meetings at the end. And so we have placed some information out there on our website about it. But the public's asking for additional information, so we've reached out to NextEra to come and give a presentation, a public presentation. And so we're gonna hold that at the courthouse on the 14th, which will be next Tuesday evening. So the public can come and talk to NextEra. NextEra is supposed to bring some maps, more detailed maps than what we've been supplied on the website. And so we can open it up for the public to be able to learn more, and so they can kind of comment back to NextEra about if they feel there's alternate routes, if they want to propose that to NextEra.
The proposed route is down I-10, is that right?
It's adjacent to I-10.
Right.
It's not on DOT's property, but it would be on private property, but it would be running adjacent to I-10.
And that seems to be some of the questions about being on private property.
Yes, sir. Yeah, people want to know more questions about where it's going and how much property they're gonna need and so forth.
Okay,
So we thought we would hold a public meeting to
okay,
be able to discuss that.
all right. Well,
Appreciate you setting that up.
Yeah, there was a interesting article in the Tallahassee Democrat this morning where, Mr. Bryan, I believe is his name, he's the guy that I met with concerning the, power line coming through Madison County. And I think this public hearing would be the right thing to do so citizens will know what's going on.
You know, it'd be a workshop, you know,
Yeah,
decisions will be made
sure.
by the board, and it's a workshop, it's just open for public.
all right.
Timothy Bryant, a fellow who's been coming to the Tallahassee and Leon County, commission meetings, is who would
encourage all of you to attend that meeting. Well, I think it'll be very informative for all of us. All right, we'll move on down to number 5 now. Discussion and possible approval of restricted covenants to the easement agreement with the Department of Environmental Protection for the closing of the landfill. Mr. Attorney, you want to take over there?
If you'll, in your packet, there is, this document's a declaration of restricted covenant. And then before it is an access easement. Now, the restrictive covenant, this all concerns the landfill, that's the Superfund site, the old county landfill, not the new Osceola landfill south of Greenville. That has nothing to do with it. This is the old county landfill
Right before the road.
near the road farm. And if you'll recall, there for years and years, they discovered it in the 80s. There was a contamination at the landfill. So back before any of us had anything to do with it, they discovered contamination out there. That made it a Superfund site. Superfund is a federal program for certain levels of contamination. We've been working on that. The county and the city and DEP and ITT and EPA have been working on the site since then. The part of that remediation is that we have to record in the public records a restricted covenant. And the restricted covenant basically says you can't do anything out there on the site without DEP and EPA's approval. So you can't, and I know y'all know this, but the way the landfill is set up, one of the problems that's causing contamination is that when rainwater comes, it percolates through the soil, and that leaches out some of the contaminants and they get to the groundwater. So what we did to fix that was we put a clay cap over the top, so the rainwater doesn't get on the top, soak through, and get all the pollutants out. So you put a clay cap, you put topsoil on the top of that, you plant grass. Well, for instance, you gotta keep trees out there. If you put a tree on the top, the taproot goes way down, busts that cap, and then you've got the problem. You can't dig out there. You can't put up buildings out there. You can't do all these different things out there because you gotta protect that clay cap, and it keeps the rainwater from going through, those types of